Hello everybody, it is Friday and it's time for what we're going to call Fast Fact Friday here at the Short Track TV studios. I'm going to take a few minutes, I want to touch on a few topics. So I thought instead of typing it all out and posting a picture on Facebook or something, we'll post something on YouTube and Facebook for this Fast Fact Friday. We've got something coming up that'll probably be 2-Minute Tuesdays as well. Tips, tech tips and things that we're working on for the season going into the Madera Speedway. But first thing I want to touch on today is last night was the Junior Late Model Series Challenge Camp that aired on MAVTV. The response has been off the charts. Fans really enjoyed it. Drivers and teams from around the country enjoyed it. Just a tremendous amount of feedback in the way of emails, messages. I've had messages from some pretty prominent people in the sport that watched it last night. So great job by all 12 of our young drivers that were a part of that television show last night. Thank you guys very much for being a part of that Junior Late Model Challenge Camp. The next thing, Grant Thompson won that, so I'm going to touch on a few things here, and the next thing I want to touch on is the upcoming schedule for MAVTV. Again, Junior Late Model Challenge Camp aired last night. Tremendous response, one of the biggest responses we've had from any TV show on MAVTV. The Grant Thompson special. Grant won the Challenge Camp last night on MAVTV. He drives in the short track shootout, wins a free ride, all expenses paid free ride in a Nate Clower Motorsports Championship winning car. We have the Grant Thompson special that our guys here at the studio have been working round the clock on, and that will air on March the 5th. That's the Day in the Life Grant Thompson Race Day special. Just everything, all about one driver, one whole episode. It's really something special. Then we have the Harvest Classic. Really neat event. It's a tribute race to Donnie Large Sr. Lots of interviews from Kyle Vanderpool, Donnie Large Jr., Audra Cicelli, Jim Burgess. Jim Burgess just absolutely turns into a racing John Wayne. He's fighting cancer in the hospital, shows up at the track, not supposed to be driving, and wins the darn race. The guy was something else. Really some neat stuff. Something else that was neat and part of that event at the Harvest Classic was Kenny Takeuchi was was the announcer, pardon me, for the Legends of Kearney Bowling. Kenny passed away in December, but Kenny was a part of the Harvest Classic. We had him on our television show on MAVTV. That show, the Harvest Classic show, will air on MAVTV on March the 19th. March 19th, and we've got a clip coming up here in just a little bit of Kenny on the show with us, and it's something that's heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time for me. My very first TV interview ever as a race car driver was 1993 at the Madera Speedway, and there was a program on Continental Cablevision that aired all throughout Central California, and Kenny Takeuchi was the commentator on that. And that was my very first interview, 1993. Well, this Harvest Classic, from the 47th Harvest Classic interview with Kenny Takeuchi, I was able to interview Kenny in his last televised interview. So puts a smile on my face watching the video, but it also puts a tear in my eye. We're going to play a clip from that interview with Kenny here in just a few minutes at the end of this Fast Fact Friday little quickie that we're doing here, this quick interview. Next, after the Harvest Classic airs on 3/19/20, March 19th, on April the 2nd, we have the Austin Herzog special, Day in the Life of Austin Herzog. And it's a documentary of our Nut Up Pro Late Model Series champion from 2019, Austin Herzog. So that's a 1-hour special. It has Austin, his parents, a lot of people behind the scenes in that, and basically what Austin does each and every day, and it's really interesting. On April the 16th, we have the Joey East Day in the Life documentary. So it premieres. It's a 1-hour special on our 5150 Junior Late Model Series champion from 2019, Joey East. So that is April the 16th. Then we have our 2019 awards banquet on MAVTV on April the 30th. That's also a rear look, highlight reel of the entire race season, plus highlights from the banquet, some pretty funny moments from the banquet. We also have a preview of the 2020 season, some predictions. Who do we think will challenge for each the Nut Up Pro Late Model Series Championship and the juniors? Who can be in the top 5? Who will the players be? That will be a very interesting show as well. Back to the Junior Late Model Series Challenge Camp that aired last night. The 2020 version, we want to make that bigger and better, 2.0. It's going to be hard to top. That was an amazing camp last night. We had Rod from Raceface really participated, myself, Tom Clower, Mike Nank and his whole operation, we all came together and just produced something that was really special in the first ever Junior Late Model Series Challenge Camp. But we want to make the second version bigger and even better than this year was. And one of the goals, we provided a ride to the winner of the Junior Late Model Challenge Camp. For 2020, I don't know if we'll get there, but my goal, and I'm working with a lot of sponsors, and my goal is to provide a free ride for the entire following season for whoever wins that camp. And then just to give you a little vision of where my mind is at, how my brain's working, it's been a long-term goal to put the farm system back in play and kind of get away from the full, bring the money to the table and anyone gets a ride in racing. So something I'm really passionate about is providing opportunities, kind of a farm system in racing. So we would have whoever wins the Junior Late Model Series Challenge Camp wins a free ride in the Junior Series, so they get a full season ride, not just one night. That's the vision. We're not there yet. Right now it's just one night. Then whoever is the champion in the 5150 Junior Late Model Series, they earn a free ride in the Nut Up Pro Late Model Series the following season. And then ultimately the biggest goal would be whoever the Pro Late Model Series champion or Nut Up Pro Late Model Series champion would earn a free ride in the ARCA West Series. Those are the things I'm working on. We're using the television show with as much energy as possible to sell as much sponsorship to help support us with that. So with that said, we are looking for help for the 2020 Junior Late Model Series Challenge Camp. What we're looking for, volunteers. I've already had some tremendous phone calls, as I mentioned even after the show aired last night, but we have people like Ron Hornaday has offered to come out and do a seminar, driver coaching and helping. That's Ron Hornaday, the NASCAR Hall of Famer, one of the best race car drivers that's ever walked in this country. Ron Hornaday, he wants to come out and help. We've had Al Neep called last night, a really top-notch spotter that wants to come out and help with the spotting. Kersey Young reached out to us today and said, hey, how can I volunteer? I don't care if I dump the trash cans or help coach or, work in any way I can. So it's very special, and we're looking for a lot of volunteers. We're also looking for additional sponsorship. The title sponsors of the 2020 Junior Late Model Challenge Camp, we're looking for really strong support because we want to provide more to the winner, and we need some more horsepower to do that. Again, this year, Grant Thompson won the race, won a free ride in the short track shootout, which is a really big deal, and that was supported by the West Coast Stock Car Hall of Fame, J&M Environmental, Nate Clara Motorsports, Madera Speedway, Raceface, and Raceface Brand Development, and a lot of other product sponsors that helped all the kids out. But next year we want to make this bigger and better. So we are certainly looking, and I'm in meetings and working hard to try and find a big title sponsor to provide some bigger and better things. So reach out to us if there's any way you can help or anything you can think of, including volunteering and helping with that 2020 Junior Late Model Challenge Camp that will happen in September of this year. Before we go, I want to touch on a couple of other things. Last night was the ARCA West race at Las Vegas, and I want to congratulate Jesse Love. Fantastic job. You make us very proud. Jesse ran second last night, and that kid's he's on a roll already. Won a big late model race back in Florida. Second last night in the ARCA West Series race. Joey East, great job. He had a really good qualifying run, was fast, one of the fastest cars in practice throughout, and it sounded like he had some mechanical difficulties, but that was his first start ever in the ARCA West Series, so we're very proud of both of our previous champions from the 5150 Junior Series, Joey East and Jesse Love. Great job, guys. Congratulations there. I also want to tip my hat to Zachary Telford that made his first start last night in the ARCA West Series. So good job. 5150 Junior Late Model Series drivers are making their mark all over this country. Haley Diggins second in the ARCA race at Daytona. We're really proud of all of the kids that have come through our program. We can't wait to see what all of them do next. Couple of other areas, something else I want to touch on. I guess guys are motioning at me and giving me a hard time behind the camera right now, but this backdrop. Everyone's probably trying to figure out, why am I dressed the way I'm dressed and why is this backdrop the way it is? Well, here at the studios, Quan and Matt thought they would try and perk me up a little bit. Usually, I like to go fishing on Saturdays, especially I only get a couple weekends off in January and a couple weekends off in February. Well, this was my last weekend off, and I planned on going fishing tomorrow, so I'm kind of in that mode already. And so they put up a nice woodsy backdrop for me and changed the studio around here. But the reality is I don't get to go fishing tomorrow. This is our last weekend of the year. The season kicks off with our first big practice next week, and it is hammer down, right foot on the gas pedal from next Saturday night all the way to next November at our banquet. But I don't get to go fishing tomorrow. The reason is it's kind of exciting, even though I'd love to be on the lake. We're adding some new equipment to our television production. We started this production in 2015. Actually, I was filming pilots and test running in 2013, but 2015 we hit MAVTV. We started this production with 2 television cameras, myself in the grandstands and a friend of mine, Ron, running the infield camera and then doing the interviews. And then we had 2 onboard cameras, so just 4 cameras. I pick up some equipment. The reason I'm not fishing tomorrow is I'm going to Burbank to pick up the most high-end equipment we've added to the show to date. And this will be the equipment we're picking up will take us all the way up to 22 cameras. I couldn't believe it, I did the math. 22 cameras that we will be shooting in 2020 in our MAVTV show. That's how many cameras will be around the track. You have 6 in-car cameras for the juniors, 6 for the pros. There's actually 5 used and then 1 backup. So that's 12 total cameras. We have 1 camera in turn 1, that's 13. We have 2 cameras on the grandstand platform, that takes us to 15, 2 in the flag stand, that takes us to 17, 1 in the booth, that's 18, and then our interview cam takes us to 19 in the infield. We're adding another interview cam that takes us to 20, and then we have 2 B-roll cameras that float around the place, just grabbing whatever footage we can. That's 22 cameras for the Madera Racing on MAVTV production in 22. We've got a big team working on the show. So it's something that I'm very proud of. We had a vision to provide a platform to build a brand name and help drivers with sponsors in a program where we could teach the youth how the sport operates and the business side of the sport and build a brand name. So I'm very proud of coming from that 2-camera operation in 2015 to 22 cameras right now. So something very special. So right now what I'd like to do, I want to have the guys play the Kenny Takeuchi clip from that interview that will air on MAVTV as part of the Harvest Classic. And again, the Harvest Classic will air on March 19th. Tractor pulls, races, open comp super modified race versus sprint cars. Jim Burgess absolutely becomes a John Wayne of racing. Pretty impressive show. So enjoy your weekend. Congratulations again to Jesse Lev, Joey East. Fantastic job. We're proud of you guys. Everyone else, enjoy your weekend. We're working hard here and we can't wait to see you at the Madera Speedway on March the 14th. That's the Race to Be Drug-Free Big 3 series, record amount of prize money for the race teams. And it's going to be something special. It's the kickoff event for the Nut Up Pro Late Model Series and the 5150 Junior Late Model Series in the 2020 season on MAVTV. Have a great weekend, everyone. Can't wait to see you at the Madera Speedway. All right, MAVTV race fans, back with you. Now we're trackside. We were talking about all of the action that was going to take place. We were talking in the pits with Audra Cicelli, Jim Burgess, all the drivers, some of the tractor pull people, but now it's time to get this show started. And I've got one of the most legendary announcers with me, Kenny Takeuchi. Behind me is the Legends of Kearney Bowl, and they're going to kick off the 47th annual Harvest Classic here at the Madera Speedway. Tell us, how many decades, when did you start announcing? What was the first decade? We're not even going to go to a year, we're going to talk decade.
Well, believe it or not, when Herman Hutton was a rookie in 1949, I did some spot announcing at Selma at the rodeo grounds, believe it or not. That was before Kearney Bowl.
Okay, race fans, so we've got the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000. Now the teens behind us on the racetrack. Kenny will be the announcer for Legends of Kearney Bowl. These were the pre-runners, the predecessors to those sidewinders you're going to see compete a little bit later tonight right here on MAVTV. Stay with us, fans. We'll be right back from this commercial break.